Well, talking about golf events.
Yes.
Talking about ticket prices. Talking about some of the best golfers in the world.
Live podcast in London.
LIV Golf events.
Yes.
So I'm sure a lot of people, certainly if you've got your ear on the ground, have heard about the LIV Golf events. This is will often be called the Saudi Golf League.
Yes.
The first event is taking place in London. And I'm just going to go on ticket price straight away because there's been a lot of backlash. If I want to buy a ticket now to go and watch, I don't know who I'm going to go and watch, by the way, because it's not been announced who's actually playing in it. It's all a bit secret at the moment. It's nearly £70 a ticket. It's a lot of money, that. You don't actually know who you're going to go and watch right now. You might get some of the best players in the world playing, but it's so wrapped in kind of secrecy at the moment. It's a bit crazy, isn't it?
It's a lot. Well, it's how you look at it. In some ways, if you think of a golf event, if a ticket's £70, you could go at the crack of dawn, you could stay till it goes dark. So in that sense, it's better value than football, definitely, than other sports. But what's different, I think, with this one is two things. Like you said, you firstly don't know who's going to be there. It's like when you go to the Open, you know that Tiger's going to be there, Rory's going to be there, etc. So that's the first thing. And the second thing that's a bit weird about it is the fact that this Saudi Golf League, LIV Golf Invitational or Saudi Golf League, whatever you want to call it, has obviously been pumped full of money. Millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, billions even, I think.
And that's advertised how much the players are making.
The players are going to make £5 squillion for shooting 85.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're a punter that wants to go, you've got to pay a lot of money. I think they would have been so much better off from a public image if they'd have made tickets either free
100%
or
free.
like a tenner. So it's almost like stupidly cheap because it's like if they sell 10,000 tickets, £70, so that's 70 grand. No, 700 grand, I think. Yeah, that's not going to make
So it's a tiny dent.
It's nothing
in the money cash cow that this is that's being kind of tipped for this massive purses, massive money these players are going to make, which is obviously lucrative enough for them to be falling out with sponsors and tours and fans. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
To then charge so much for a ticket, I think, is a real own goal.
This LIV Golf, it's obviously we've talked about it many times, and we will continue to do so. It's such a big talking point in golf. But what's frustrating me about it at the moment is I'm definitely keen for change, for more exciting golf formats. I think that's better for the viewer.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. Whether that's this tournament or other things.
Well, we first off spoke with Andy Gardner about the Premier Golf League.
Exactly. But what I'm not keen on with this so far, the main story is about how much money. Obviously, there's the Saudi thing, which obviously naturally gets a lot of people not happy about it, which I understand. But then the second thing, the kind of more golf side of things, is that all the real output I'm hearing is about how much money the player's going to get.
It's nothing about the fans at all at the moment.
Like when I watched the F1 yesterday, I don't care how much Verstappen gets.
I actually don't know.
No, I don't care if it's £1 million or 10 million. I don't care. So that's the first thing. It's like, yeah, it's great the golf's winning loads of money, but they're already multimillionaires anyway, so I'm literally not bothered. The other thing I don't like as well, a lot of the people that are potentially going playing, the way they're going about and things they're saying, it's really not nice. Like the whole thing with Sergio the other day with what he said on the PGA Tour that I'm sure a lot of people have seen. I can't wait to leave this tour, only a couple of weeks left. That then naturally reflects badly on the new tour.
Of course it does.
So it feels like there's so many things that are kind of tarnished. And just another thing on this as well we haven't touched on. I've seen quite a lot of comments from people asking about why we didn't talk to Lee Westwood in our podcast about it.
So
there's actually two reasons. I've got two reasons.
Well, first off, basically it was under embargo.
That's the first one.
So he said at the start of the podcast, listen, guys, off podcast, I can't talk about it because I said, can we ask you about it? He said, I can't.
Yeah.
Like my response would be,
he was under embargo.
My response would be, I can't say anything. Yeah. And now, since that last week, he did get interviewed by Sky Sports, and he came out with a little bit more. So whether some level of embargo is lifted, but it's when we certainly, I don't know if this is your follow up point. When you sat with someone for a full day and a full podcast and filming the whole afternoon, you don't really want to piss off either.
Well, it's kind of that, but also, well, firstly, he'd said, I can't talk about it, so we're not going to push him.
Yeah.
We are happy to ask questions, or you have as well, a bit awkward, i.e. when you ask Bryson about not shouting for. So that's not off the record. But also, when we have these, a few comments saying, when you interviewed Lee Westwood, you didn't ask him this. I personally, I don't know about you, I don't see this as interviews. I think of interviews kind of very much kind of you asking questions back and forth that you have a right to know the answer to. We almost see them as a guest on this podcast, and we want them to feel very relaxed and at home and not like they're getting grilled. So if he hadn't have said to us at the start about the LIV thing, we would have 100% asked about it and maybe gone into a few of these things. But if he said to us off, which people didn't know, he said off the record, I can't speak about it. We're not then going to start pressuring him and go on, like, you know, in the podcast.
Yeah.
And we want other big guests to come on. It's just not how we are.
No, I mean, it's a bit like did you see the interview last week of Suzanne from Good Morning Britain?
Yeah, with Boris Johnson.
Like, that's an interview.
Exactly, that's a,
that's a grilling interview.
Rightly so.
Like, when Piers Morgan interviews certain people, it's a grilling. Well, this isn't. It's a sit-down, friendly, nice chat that we don't need to kind of pull up things like this. If he can't talk about it, if he could, we would have asked him, are you going to be playing in it? What do you think about a few things? But again, we're not going to stand there and grill him and go, what about this? What about that? What about this? Because that's not who we are and what we do. And we're not journalists.
Exactly.
Like, when he got interviewed by Sky Sports, they're actual journalists who are trying to get these answers out of these guys. And they're also being pressured from their big bosses. We need an answer from Lee Westwood. We need it. Well, we're not pressured by anybody. Like, we don't need to do it. So either way, LIV Golf Tour, the first event's actually very soon. It's a month away. We still don't know who's playing in it.
We know rumours.
We know rumours of Westwood, Garcia, Mickelson.
Adam Scott, maybe. I
think
I've heard rumours of. Who else was there?
Patrick Reed, Poulter,
Richard Bland, I think I've heard. These are all rumours on the internet, so there's no necessary truth in these.
I just don't know how it's going to pan out. I really don't.
I'm excited to see how it goes, and I'm also excited to see, again, at the moment, there's been a lot of, and we actually don't know this because the Lee Westwood video is going out today for us, so it'll be out already. If there'll be a lot of comments on that about people who aren't happy with him potentially playing in it, I don't know. I'm interested to see, though, how that, if it changes. Like, if these players go to these events and they end up being good events and good TV, will people then kind of warm to it? Or is the fact it's coming from Saudi so fundamentally wrong in so many people's opinions and minds, they will never give it a chance and they will never entertain it? I don't know. Could go either way.
It's 8 events, pretty much one every month, 1 in June, 2 in July, September, October, 3 in October. It's not going to be long before we find out the answer to all of these questions, like who's playing in it and is it successful. I mean, there's a line on the website, the grass is always greener when you're standing on it. That's on the website. So it's like, it's just mystery. Like, I feel like they've gone out this, obviously Greg Norman's kind of fronting this, they've gone out this and they're trying to sign the best players in the world or whatever they're trying to do, but it's so under wraps.
It's hard to get excited about it when you don't know who's going to be playing.
Really, really, really hard. And then, like I say, when you're charging 70 quid a ticket, then I just think that's such an own goal.